Hello, I'm Bonnie Rabicoff, and this week we are back in the cellar with Marquee Selections and their managing director, Chris Cribb. We're going to talk about what to pair with some of our favorite comfort foods. Chris, thank you for inviting us back into your cellar.
Sure, Bonnie, great to have you.
And a wonderful cellar this is at the American Restaurant.
Yes, well, we just got done celebrating New Year and wanted to show off one of our Kansas City's favorites here and go ahead and talk a little bit about some special winter fare and those hearty dishes that we're going to be having while it's a little colder.
It's a little colder, so let's talk out with a favorite, and that is mac and cheese. Which is more complicated than first blush because you can go from a sharp cheddar for your mac and cheese to a blue cheese. You may have a crumble topping that includes garlic and bacon. And so what do you suggest for these varieties?
Well, you know, mac and cheese I think is a great favorite because you can make a lot of it at one time and feed quite a few people. When you're thinking about your wine pairing, you want to look at what you're going to put in it.
Okay.
Second thing I like to look at is, are you going to be doing a big crust on it, or are you going to be doing it kind of... It's kind of nice because it gives you that different texture.
Oh, it does.
That really helps. The wine that I chose for mac and cheese today specifically is the Capa Rota Macabeo, which is a white wine from the center part of Spain. And Macabeo is a grape that is known for being very smooth, soft, easy to drink, a little lighter in alcohol. It is got a little bit of a nutty character to it and kind of a floral peach flavor.
Okay, so good with cheddar.
It goes really good with that cheddar flavor.
And the Parmesan would be good with that?
Parmesan really goes well with it as well. You know, if you get that kind of crust on it, where you've taken the breadcrumbs and then you put the Parmesan on top of them, and it's made that secondary crust. You know, you'll find that this will cut through it, kind of cleanse your palate so that you're ready for it. Takes the richness out of it.
Okay, and makes you ready for that next bite.
Absolutely,
it does. So, okay, to your health. Okay.
Welcome to the new year.
Thank you, too.
So we see that this has got, a little bit of that
Chardonnay-ish. Is it a Chardonnay-ish?
It's kind of a Chardonnay-ish. It's really in between like Pinot Grigio and Chardonnay.
Okay.
The grape varietal itself is called Macabeo, and it's only made in Spain. Okay. When we look at what we're doing as a company, we try to find things that are a little bit different. And so instead of spending $15, $20 on a Chardonnay or a Pinot Grigio, this is something that we can get down to the $10 price point. So,
thank you. Okay,
a little bit more of a bargain for your everyday drinking.
The traditional mac and cheese would be this. If we're going to go to some stronger flavors like blue cheese, what are you going to recommend with maybe bacon, crumbles on top?
I'd say the second thing that I would do on that, you can go either to the bigger Chardonnays. So, we talk about, I think of white wines kind of as a progression from lighter to medium to heavier. And so usually you go from like a Chardonnay, this is where this the middle Suave goes into a Pinot Grigio, goes into the Chardonnays, Viogniers, ones that have a fuller, heavier body. So if you get a heavy oak Chardonnay, that would stand right up to that.
Sure would.
But you go into the red cycle and you got whole range of rosés, which we've talked about.
We have, and it's perfectly acceptable today.
It is acceptable to have rosé. So you've got that range, but then you have the range of light reds, like a Pinot Noir, Gamay Beaujolais, a couple other light reds that would be able to still stand up to that, but not overwhelm the flavor.
Okay.
You don't want to go all the way to the big side of the reds where you got Cabernet and Malbec and some of those. It's going to be too much. It's not the right thing.
Okay, so let's talk about another comfort food, winter comfort food.
What else are you cooking?
Chili.
Chili?
And we do that for tailgating too. So what do you recommend for chili? And I know some chilies end up with white beans and chicken, but for the traditional red sauce with red meat, what do you say?
I'd say, the best bet for regular chili is something that's going to be pretty medium bodied, and it's going to take it's not going to have too much spice in the wine because you've got the spice in the chili. So you want to counteract the point there. I like one of the grapes that I've chosen here. This is Barbera. This is a Barbera d'Asti from Piedmont, Italy, the Quattro Leoni line of wines from Castello di Gabbiano.
Just love that vineyard, don't we?
Yeah, well,
we
they
do.
produce some really great value wines, and I like Barbera because it's right in the middle. It's not. It's a younger drinking wine. It's not quite as bold in its tannins. Very fruity. Also goes along the lines of a lot of Merlots are this way. So that would be another good comparison to use and to have with your chili.
You should take a little sniff.
Yeah. So. So you get a little bit of that spiciness, but it's not overpowering. It's not, Syrah is kind of known as the spicy or Zinfandel. And when if you were to have that really spicy Zinfandel or Syrah,
It's a light, yes.
This actually compares a little bit better to it.
And I could understand how it would be a great juxtaposition against the spicy chili.
Yeah.
So good selection. All right. So
we did the white bean too. The white bean.
What would you say?
I'd say the white bean. If you were looking at that, you want to try to go maybe into the Sauvignon Blanc category. One of the best new crisp white wines. It allows it to have a little more acidity, and so that does the same kind of aspect that this does. Where the red wine's got acidity here, it balances out the heat in the chili.
Right. Okay. So, mac and cheese, chili, now stews, and those come in a wide variety. But traditionally, there's usually some tomato base in it,
There are.
be it a boeuf bourguignon or be it chicken cacciatore. You're talking red, and that's a chicken stew. What do you suggest?
Well, I think, in that same flavor profile, you need to go ahead and go, all right, are you going to be, cooking with wine?
Okay.
Or are you going to be preparing your dish and having the wine as a complement?
All right, let's talk about that.
So two different kind of aspects to it. Right now, this time of year, cooking with wine, the better wine you have that you cook with, the better your food's going to be.
Please remember that. You need to be able to drink the wine that you cook with. It shouldn't be a separate.
Right, but it's also a really nice way. You got a couple extra bottles you opened up over the holidays, and
good idea.
They'll stay good for a few extra days. You put a cork in it, put it in the fridge, and then when you're ready to cook that next, say it's the beef bourguignon, and it's looking for a dry red wine.
Right.
You've got something that you already know you've tasted and liked, and it's just a better quality than the cooking wine.
Okay, and
good
we
use for
shouldn't
that.
be doing cooking wine. Okay, so if you're cooking with a wine, is that the wine you want to drink also with the dish?
I'd say that's it's good.
It's
a
good
good
to
way.
do. Okay.
It's a good thing to do. You can see the similarities in the meal. You see the similarities with it, but it's not.
It's not a rule.
It's not a rule.
Okay.
It's a guideline.
Okay.
So if you.
But it's safe.
Yeah, it's safe.
It's safe.
So if you're going to buy 2 bottles,
Yes.
you open one bottle, you use half the bottle in the recipe.
Right.
You've got that other half to share with your guests, and you have the other bottle too. So it's a good example of a way to do it. But if you went to something else, you want to try to either stay in the same family, same area. I like to think of it as like if you're doing a light red wine in your sauce, stick with the light red wine for your dinner.
Okay.
If you're going to be doing, say, a big red wine, so you put some Bordeaux
or
Burgundy in with, something you're cooking, some steak, or even a red sauce. You want to give it a little bit of extra flavor. Then you want to try to stick with those same families, the Burgundy family or the Bordeaux family.
Good advice.
Not necessarily move from. I cooked with the Pinot Noir, then I had a Cabernet with dinner.
No.
It'll just kind of mix and muddle the flavors a bit. So.
Okay, so we've got these good suggestions for the comfort foods that we look forward to in the winter. You know what else happens? Because we are having heartier foods, we're drinking possibly a little more red wine, and the spills happen. And so now you're supposed to help us figure that out. What do we do?
Okay, so there's a couple things, and these, you can probably go on the internet and see that there's tales of all kinds.
There are tales, yes.
But there's a couple things that I think are really good ideas to try. One is if you do get red wine, say you get red wine on
your
a
beautiful white shirt or your
you know,
linens, or
you've got washing it out with a little bit of white wine is a good way to try to kind of wash it out.
Right.
If you try to use water, it doesn't have enough viscosity to it.
Okay.
And so it just kind of walks around it, and the white wine gets in there with it, just the same way that soda water does.
Okay.
And this is one of the products I always have around my house.
What is it called?
It's called Wine Away.
Wine Away, okay.
And it literally, when you put it on the stain, it will take that stain out of your clothing.
Oh, wow.
I'm not working for the company or anything, but I do say that this one works.
You know that that works. Okay, so a great gift to go along with that bottle of wine and perhaps some chocolate. And no fear, you can get the stain out.
Yeah, perfect. Good little gift for Valentine's Day.
Well, you've done wonderful research, not only for how to care for the wines, but even in selecting them. And Wine Spectator has recognized your efforts with great awards over the last 5 years, best value. How do you make this happen?
Well, we've gone through a large selection process to make sure that we find the best values, unique varietals, like these two that are, not the big best sellers in the market, but offer something new for wine lovers to take a look at. So each of the wines we pick, we do a blind tasting to make sure that it's better than its market competition. And the core that goes through all of our wineries is that they have a green, sustainable,
thank you for that,
earth-based focus. And so that's really nice, to say, look, all of these people are working to make sure that they're having a smaller impact on the globe. So
and providing a good place to live for the children that we're bringing up now.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So,
yes. So how can people learn more about your portfolio? Again, unique wines, they're not the usual that you think about, but the care you've taken in identifying these small wineries that love the earth and love the wine they're making. How can we learn about your portfolio?
Well, what you're looking for is the two words, Marquee Selections.
Okay.
And our website, it's only got one, so www.marquee.com is where you can go, and we've got all the social media giants on there, Facebook, Twitter, all of those. So if you want to sign up there, you can kind of see and keep up with what's going on with us. But we also have a list of locations and places that you can find the wine in. So we'd be happy to have you stop by and become one of our fans and friends.
Okay. So, to your health, I should say next week we're going to talk about closures.
Yeah.
There's a big debate on that. We're going to talk about it.
We're gonna break the seal, so to speak.
Okay, we're going to break the seal. To your health.